Imagine you're sitting in a cramped dining room in ancient Ephesus. It's night. Candlelight flickers against the walls. Someone unrolls a scroll and begins to read aloud. What follows is 2 hours of cosmic horror, heavenly music, and divine war. By the end, some listeners are weeping, and this is how Revelation was meant to be experienced. And the scholars notice something strange about its design. It doesn't tell one story start to finish. It tells the same story 3 times, each time louder. To understand this, we need to see the blueprint. Revelation is built on 3 parallel sequences: the 7 seals in chapters 5 through 8, the 7 trumpets in chapters 8 through 11, and the 7 bowls in chapters 15 and 16. Each follows an identical template. Catastrophes 1 through 4 strike in rapid succession. Then comes an interlude of comfort. Catastrophes 5 and 6 escalate further. A longer interlude follows. And the climactic 7th element closes the cycle. This pattern repeats 3 times, and each repetition intensifies. The seals are severe. The trumpets are worse. The bowls are devastating. This is not a linear timeline, it's a spiral. The seal cycle shows how this works. The first 4 seals unleash the famous 4 horsemen: conquest, war, famine, and death. At the 5th seal, the tone pivots. Martyred souls beneath God's altar cry out for justice. They receive white robes and reassurance. Wait a little longer. The 6th seal escalates beyond anything before it. Earthquakes, a blackened sun, stars falling like figs. Then another interlude. 144,000 believers are sealed with divine protection. And then the 7th seal opens. After all that build-up, horsemen, earthquakes, cosmic collapse, the 7th seal brings this: there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. That's it. No explosion, no resolution, just silence. And then the next cycle begins. The trumpet cycle mirrors this pattern. 4 trumpets bring catastrophes. An eagle shrieks a warning. 2 more trumpets escalate. A mighty angel delivers a scroll. And the 7th trumpet triggers heavenly praise. Then the bowl cycle compresses everything. It's the fastest, most intense loop. 7 bowls of wrath pour out in rapid succession, building to a voice from heaven declaring, "It is done." But structure alone doesn't explain the effect. To understand the purpose of this repetition, look at what sits between the trumpet and the bowl cycles: a massive interlude spanning chapters 12 through 14. A woman clothed with the sun gives birth while a great red dragon waits to devour her child. The dragon is cast from heaven and raises up 2 beasts to wage war on earth. Then a wounded horned lamb, representing Jesus, appears on Mount Zion with the redeemed. This isn't a random digression. It's the mythic backstory that explains everything. The catastrophes aren't arbitrary. They're battles in a cosmic war between God and the forces of evil. By inserting this origin story before the final cycle, the author raises the emotional stakes to their highest point. This is where scholar Adela Yarbro Collins transforms our understanding. Collins argued that the repeating structure is psychologically engineered. Each cycle manufactures crisis, fear, dread, urgency, and then partially releases it during the comfort interludes. But the release never returns to baseline. The next cycle ratchets tension higher. Catastrophe, partial relief, catastrophe, partial relief. Each wave crests higher than the last. Collins called this crisis and catharsis. Catharsis meaning the emotional purification that follows intense build-up. The author of Revelation believed God would resolve everything, but the audience had to feel the crisis in their bodies first, the fear, the longing, the desperation, so that when salvation finally arrived, they experienced genuine transformation. The structure breaks the audience down, so the resolution can build them back up. This only works because Revelation was designed for oral performance. The book opens with a blessing on the one who reads aloud. Chapter 4 proves the point. The throne room scene packs more sensory detail into a single chapter than most ancient texts manage in their entirety. A throne of jasper and carnelian, a rainbow like an emerald, flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, 7 flaming torches burning before the throne, 4 living creatures covered in eyes, one like a lion, one like an ox, one like an eagle, one with a human face, singing without ceasing, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. This is theatrical staging. The songs throughout the text were meant to be voiced aloud. The audience doesn't decode Revelation, they are immersed in it. Reading Revelation as a sequential prediction of future events collapses the 3 cycles into one timeline. That destroys the very structure that gives the book its power. The cycles don't follow one another chronologically, they overlap. They retell and intensify the same arc. The purpose is emotional and spiritual transformation, not chronological prophecy. Return to that dining room in Ephesus. When the reader finally reached chapters 21 and 22, the New Jerusalem descending, God wiping every tear, the audience had been through 3 rounds of catastrophe and comfort. They had heard Rome fall, they had heard heaven sing, the crisis had done its work, and now the catharsis. Revelation's structure reveals how ancient authors understood the relationship between storytelling, emotion, and belief. The book doesn't just describe salvation, it performs salvation on its audience. 3 cycles of escalating crisis, each broken by moments of comfort, building toward one shattering release. Revelation isn't a code to be cracked, it's a performance to be experienced, and its 3-act structure is the script.